tip number 1. Okay, so this tip has been used quite a lot, but if you're still using Rubik's brand, yeah, not a very good idea. I would suggest getting a speed cube. They're very cheap, and as you can see, much better. Alright, so the next tip I have for beginner CFOP solvers is don't just learn finger tricks for the sake of them. So, like, don't learn like a D2 finger trick. I actually have a tutorial for that in the top right. But yeah, you don't want to learn finger tricks just for nothing. I would suggest learning finger tricks when you need to. So if you're learning A-perms, you might want to learn them. Like that. This way, it will ensure that you won't forget the finger tricks because you'll actually be using them. Okay, so my third tip is to learn cases, certain F12 cases, such as this one, learn an algorithm to solve them rather than solving them intuitively. For a case like this, usually, intuitively, you'd have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 moves, and I mean, it's not the worst, but you really want to be doing that many moves. Also, you have to kind of think about that. I know an algorithm for this one that's also 12 moves, but it's way quicker. It's RUGen, and some people practice this over and over again. RU, R prime, U prime, like that. Okay, so the next bit of advice I can give is to learn the best algorithms, not the easiest ones. That was a quote by JavaCube. I'll have his channel link in the description. It's actually a pretty good quote. So for a case such as this, some people might be implied to use an algorithm for like a B moves and something that's easy to remember, but I would suggest very strongly to try and find the best algorithm and learn it, because I mean, do you really want to relearn algorithms? I think that learning the best algorithm in the first place is good, because it saves you time getting it out of your muscle memory, and you may as well just be practicing using a good algorithm. This does not mean to not change your algorithms at all. Sometimes some better algorithms are found, and you might want to switch to those. For example, there used to be a V-perm that was like RUGen. If you don't understand what I'm saying, that's fine, but basically not many people use it anymore because it's not that good. So algorithms change, you gotta change with it, but when you're learning an algorithm for the first time, like an old case like this, I would go for the best algorithms, not the easiest ones. So for this case, I like to do this. My next tip is to start trying to become color neutral as soon as possible. So for those of you who don't know what color neutral is if you're solving a white cross every solve, so just gonna find a white cross like that, this, every single solve, you're limited to only the cross options of white, which could be good if you get a cross like this, one move, but just say that, for example, I got a case like this. On blue cross, 3 pieces are solved, 1 move from being solved. White cross is still pretty good, but it's not as good. So color neutrality means that you can solve with any color at the bottom. So in a case such as this, I might want to do this, solve that, and then do keyhole like that. And then I've only done a few moves. I already have a cross and my first F12 pair. So the faster you are, the harder it becomes to become color neutral, which is why I very highly recommend to become color neutral as soon as possible. You can, if it's too hard for you, I would keep trying, but if it's just so hard and you just hate cubing because of color neutrality, just forget it. It's not the most important thing, but it can give you an edge sometimes if there's a lucky scrambles. Another tip I have is if you're just not improving well, not improving as fast as you would like, or not improving at all, or maybe even getting a bit slower due to new things that you've learned, just keep trying. And if you're just hating cubing like altogether, like doing anything, then just take a break. Lots of people think that taking a break could make them go even worse, but I know that's not true because I didn't cube for like 2+ months, and I mean, I've retained all my skills. It's very hard to go backwards in cubing, in my opinion. So don't be afraid to take a break. You don't need to go on a break as long as me, 2 months. I did get very, very, very slightly slower, like 0.2 seconds slower. But yeah, for beginner CFOP solvers, I don't think that it would change your times that much, because it was just little things affecting myself. So yeah, I would say maybe a week or two break is kind of good. Give your hands a bit of a rest, and just maybe don't touch a cube. You don't have to quit altogether. You can just do like 1 or 2 solves a day. That could keep you from forgetting anything, any algorithms. Alright, the very last tip I can possibly give you is to not stop learning, if you know what I mean. So, a mistake that I made when I was averaging around 16 seconds, is I didn't learn anything new. I just did solve after solve after solve, not learning anything at all. So for beginner CFOP solvers, or even intermediate CFOP solvers, and even sometimes in the case of super advanced solvers such as sub 8, I've been saying solvers too many times, but sub 8 solvers, learning new stuff is always good, and it will make you faster in the long run. You just gotta stick with it and keep learning. So, yeah, when I was around sub 17, 16-ish, I didn't learn anything new, and I was finding it super hard to get across the sub 15 barrier. I did do it eventually, but it took me around 3 months, I'd say, to improve by like maybe 2 months to improve by that 1 second, which I probably could have done in about a week if I'd learnt a few new F2L tricks, or just figured out how to do a slightly better cross. So yeah, if you're a beginner CFOP solver and you enjoyed this video, or you found one of these tips useful, it would really help out if you subscribe to the channel, liked my video, and if the comments work below, yeah, if you have any tips, other tips that I could put into a second video, that would be great. And anyways, for now, I'll see you next time.